This is Unpivot, the show for Excel and Power BI fans and anyone who likes chatting about data or anyone who likes listening to others chat about data, which isn't many, but there we go. I'm Mark Proctor.
I'm Sue Bays.
I'm Giles Mail.
And I'm Jeremy Early.
See, mix things up there just because Wynn's not here.
I think you fumbled it. I think you fumbled it.
I did fumble it. But let's keep this train going, or else we'll never finish. So, welcome everyone. It's good to have everyone here. If anyone's wondering where Wynn is, he's currently on holiday in Japan. I'm sure he's having a lovely time. So that means we are flying without a captain today. So there could be some turbulence, but we will bring it into land at some point.
Nice. There was a general suggestion that I should host, and I outright refused because I didn't enjoy the one and only experience I've had with that when Rick turned up with a DJ set. Put me off. So thanks, Mark. Thanks for stepping in.
Right. Yeah. Before we start, who would like a quick quiz question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It depends on.
Well, on average, well, no, it's a simple, it's a simple guess. On average, what percentage longer or shorter is an episode when Wynn is not here?
Ooh.
25%?
So the options are A. So A. Well, I don't know why I said longer or shorter. There's only longer in the options. There is A, 0%, B, 5%, C, 10%, or D, 15%.
Well, I went straight for 25, so I suppose I have to go for 15 now.
Yeah. I'll go for 10 just to be different.
And I'll go for 5.
And Sue is correct. Can you believe it? We're only 5% longer when Wynn's not here.
I'm kind of surprised by that.
I'm surprised by that.
I'm just going to be honest. I've started this episode and I have this deep sense of mistrust in you, Mark. I feel like you've planned to stitch us up all the way through this episode. And I don't know why.
Well, I must admit I was perplexed when the email came through giving us a plan. We don't plan.
It was shocking. Yeah.
You're trying to tell us what to do, Mark.
One part of your email, Mark, said, "We will not talk for too long about this section." I was like, how dare you say how long we will talk about something?
There's a reason for that, because we have Dim Early with us. Now, Dim is a previous podcast guest. Now, his introduction about himself might have changed since the last time. So, Dim, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Jeremy Early. I'm from Ireland.
Say it. Come on. Say it.
Go away.
I am from Galway. That's true. That's probably what Giles wanted me to say.
No, I want you to say it and be cocky with it.
Own it, Jim.
All right, I'm here because I'm the reigning Excel world champion.
No, but to be clear, that's not what I mean. When you came on before, you were not the reigning Excel world champion, although you were the reigning financial modelling
world champion. Yep, that's
true. That's not the only reason yet. We do like you. That is a critical factor in guest selection. So, but yes, the current Excel world champion with us, and in a few minutes' time, we're going to have a brand new section. A brand new section that I've got a jingle for and everything, where we can ask Dim questions about the Excel World Championships. But before we get there, let's start as we normally do with news. Anyone got any news that they want to share? Anything in their in personal lives or new features or anything else?
I will. Nothing to do with Excel, but I'm 51 miles this week. So Boston training, and training is going fabulous.
Hang on. When does your week start?
Oh no, it's finished.
Oh yeah.
So I'm starting a new one. So I've just
so 51 miles last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because 51 miles this week stated on a Monday lunchtime.
So we're recording this on Monday, the 19th. So week ending the 18th, 51 miles.
Wow.
Fabulous.
Yeah, with some tempos.
when I was marathon training many years ago, I was like tracking my miles, and at some point, like after the month where it happened was over, I realized that my peak month had been 99.5 miles or something. I've never done 100 miles in a month. And if I had been tracking my data, not even real time, but like slightly closer to real time, of course I would have run an extra mile, but I never did. So you're clearly training a lot more intensively than I ever did.
Yeah, I got Boston and then London 6 days after. So yeah, quite intensive. But you've got your Ironman.
I was going to say.
Oh, I'm done. That was
Have you done it?
back. Yeah.
How did it go?
It went great, actually. Yeah, I was kind of terrified the night before that I was going to have a swim disaster, which I did the first time round, because apparently wetsuits just don't agree with me. I thought last time round that I had got one that like didn't fit me well, but like I got out on the water and just couldn't breathe deeply enough to, keep my head underwater for 4 strokes, as I always do. And eventually ended up like pulling down the zipper at the back, and then that wasn't enough, and like swimming the whole thing breaststroke, which I had not trained for, and it was terrible. And so for this one, I went for a swim in the sea the night before in my wetsuit, because like I don't live anywhere that I can train swimming in the sea. And it was terrible. Like I had, the previous time it was a borrowed wetsuit. I thought, oh, I must have misjudged the size, whatever. I got one that was definitely my size. Still couldn't breathe properly in it, and it was terrible. And I was like freaking out because, I had read up and I was like, you don't have to wear a wetsuit in this temperature, but everything on the internet was like, you should definitely wear a wetsuit. It's like swimming downhill. It makes you so much faster. Blah blah blah. And
what
so
was the
I spent.
temperature? What was the temperature?
Don't remember. 70 something Fahrenheit.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like it was in Florida.
Okay.
So yeah, like it was fine. Yeah, I like was massively stressed the night before, and then eventually decided, screw this, I'm going to do it without the wetsuit. Was absolutely freezing on the beach because in that part of the world it is like very warm during the day and quite chilly early in the morning and late at night. And we ended up being on the beach for longer than I expected, so I was like really freezing. But then once I got in the water, everything was fine. Bike was fast. Managed to do the run without stopping to walk at any point, which is very different from last time around. So yeah, like I mean it's a much flatter course. The one I did 10 years ago was like very hilly, but like I did it almost 2 hours faster, so I was quite happy with that. In the face of 10 years of aging.
When was it, Tim? Was it like September?
No, it started in November.
Oh, it was late. Oh god, it was late. Okay.
That's brilliant. Right. That just show you sort of with the experience to go the night before and test it, and then you could change your plans accordingly. Oh, well done you. That's brilliant.
Thank you. Yeah, I was pretty happy with it.
Yeah.
Good. Any other news?
I posted today. Excel is back on the road as of March. I will be fully remote, traveling the world, trying to set up Excel meetups and events. All over the world. So there'll be a European tour in March and then a UK tour. We're going to try and hit all the major universities, I think, in April, May. And then who knows? David Benheim said I should go to Asia, so I might go see him in Cambodia. Yeah, so more info to come, but I will be fully on the road for the rest of the year, pretty much.
So this is your big announcement.
My big announcement, although there's this part 2, because it's not alone. There's somebody from the Excel world joining me, who I'm going to remain cryptically not quite telling you who that is yet. But there'll be a video soon. Might involve a fur coat, so that's coming.
Can I just go, do they know that they're joining you? I don't want it to be one of those things where you just turn up at my door and you're like, hey Mark, we're going on the road. And they're like, I know nothing about this. When did I agree to it? You said yes to this text message 9 months ago.
When he said there's going to be a video, he means a ransom video. I've stolen Mark, and if you want him back.
don't tell her, but it's Layla. She has no idea it is kidnap. It'll be a great year.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah. So it's good. Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. But we're going to do a lot on socials. Me and the person that I'm not telling you yet. So yeah, lots more to come. But that's the 2026 plan. I just need to travel. I need to go out there and I need to meet people for real and in person. And I in my video, Dim, like I said, we had such a good time in Utah after the World Championships, and like that really solidified it for me. It was like, no, I want to do this. I want to go and meet like real people that end up being friends, which is what I'm going to do.
Great.
Very good.
Did you go to Utah as well, Dim?
Oh yeah. It was amazing.
It was great. It was really good bunch.
So is it Dim that's going with you?
Yeah, he doesn't know. That's also kidnap.
Yeah, my wife and kids also not aware of this.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So
How about you, Mark? Any news?
Well, the other news, I think from a technical news perspective, there was the announcement last week of the new functions import CSV and import text,
which you seem particularly happy about.
It's not the. So let's put some context around it. I've got the functions came out. Effectively, they allow you to put you get to use import CSV or import text as a function. You put in the file path, and it brings in the CSV or the text file directly into the grid as a dynamic array. Now, I have no issue with the feature, with how it works. When I tested it, it worked quite well. My issue is the fact that we've now got multiple ways of bringing stuff into Excel, and what they've done is created a new version that's worse than the version we've currently got. Now, if they were going to include import SQL, import Excel, import files from folder, all those functions, I'll be like, fantastic. We've got a whole new way of doing it. If you're going to scrap Power Query, scrap it. Let's deprecate something in Excel. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? To actually turn something off rather than just leaving it there to collect dust. But no, instead, let's keep adding new features which are worse than the features that we currently have. And I, on the blog post, it said something like, "You've been asking for this," and I'm like, "Who?
Nobody's
Nobody's
that.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I think in all honesty, I think it's all about Python and Excel. So if you're a Python and Excel user, you in normal Python, you could import CSV files into your Python code, and then you can analyze on that CSV file. And in the Python and Excel version, they took out all those external connectors for security reasons. And then the people who are then using Python are then going, but I've then got to go through Power Query. That's such a pain to get the stuff when I used to just use a single line of code. So I think the Excel team have then gone, well, here's a function which is equivalent to what you could have done had we not turned off that external file connector. So I think that's why it's there. But for an average person, can you imagine? You start your project. I'm starting off, import CSV, fantastic. This is going great. And then someone says, oh, yeah, we also need to get this other data. And that's in an Excel workbook. And it's like, well, have I now got to manually go in and save my Excel workbook as a CSV? Well done, we've just created some manual work. Or have I got to do something else? Now I've got this import CSV and this thing coming through Power Query. And I think it's just going to confuse people more than help them.
Dim, do you think there are other camps that have been asking for that as well as the Python camp?
I mean, not that I've heard from directly, but I'm very aware that the Excel circles I move in are all pretty advanced users. Like, put it this way: if you can imagine someone who's Python native saying, "I don't want to have to go through Power Query to get this. Why can't I just write a single line?" Like, why couldn't that be any Excel user who, like, the awareness of Power Query is desperately low. And would a better solution be raising awareness of Power Query? Maybe, but that's at least hard. Much harder than raising awareness of, hey, there's this one function that will just do it for you.
But the interesting thing is the function just in the background, if you look on the documentation, if you're using it online, it needs to be authenticated. It's all the Power Query screens. So it's all leveraging Power Query in the background.
But that's great.
Why not just make
breadcrumbs
Power
to lure you into the Power Query ecosystem?
It's not though, is it? That's the problem. Because I even checked, like you go through there and it's not, if it were there in Power Query, you've got a new way of getting this thing into Power Query and then displayed on the grid. I might feel a bit more comfortable about that, but actually it's leveraging something and then pushing it somewhere else.
It does also make me think you almost would want the data to be cleaned or cleansed already, wouldn't you, to some degree? Because you're just creating a huge amount of next step work in the grid if you're getting pretty messy data straight in the grid. Like that, for me, was the whole benefit of Power Query. You bring the data in, you can tidy it up, it's repeatable, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think I feel as strongly as you about it, Mark. I can see some people using it. Maybe it would be useful for really quick, for people like us that are in it all day. If you wanted to quickly draw on a CSV file or something, it could be useful for that. I don't know. I feel like I need to play with it.
I just looked at it and thought, well, we do it in Power Query, so why bother? But
yeah, that was Mark's view.
I think I don't live in Excel, so
if there were a button that was just like import CSV quick, you clicked it, opened up a thing that said select your file. You selected your file and then it loaded it to the worksheet. And then in the background, it created all those queries and everything else. I'd be fine with that if you could leverage something like that, because at least then it's in Power Query. You can edit it. You can bring it together with other stuff. It's like so in Power Pivot, when that first came out, you could add a table into your model. So there's a big button that's like, add to model, and it's a table. And when you click it, it adds just that table into your model. And you could never change it after that. It wasn't flexible enough. So it just caused other problems. And I feel like what Microsoft should do is focus on making the tools they've got better, easier to use for people, rather than just keep creating new tools.
I'm assuming it comes out as an array, right? A dynamic array. It's interesting then, isn't it? Because your version of Power Query, Mark, I guess, is you just hit import from CSV and you just go load. That's about as quick as you can get, I guess, from Power Query. You don't even open the editor. Whereas with this route, you're doing use the function, point, and you've just got an array output. Yeah. I didn't have a point. I was just running through I was trying to think it through, like, what do you end up with?
So
array
someone
versus
said,
a table.
I can't remember who or what, but someone was saying about, doing new as opposed to fixing old, that it's not very exciting fixing old legacy stuff that has been left over that needs fixing, whereas it's exciting doing new stuff. And if you're going to try and retain the best staff, they're not going to want to do tidy up work. They're going to do new funky dunky stuff.
Well, I'm not going to say any more on the topic because various people have heard my rant already. I've done a micro rant on here, but I'll keep quiet.
No,
Mark and I have both ranted to the entire MVP email chain in the last week.
Dear.
Mine was about PowerPoint, wasn't even about Excel. I don't know if I'll be renewed. We'll see.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, we've got a new section, and that is because Dim's here. An exciting new section, which has got a really catchy title. The catchy title is, if you could ask any question you wanted to the Excel World Champion, what would you ask? But since you're not here, we'll ask your question on your behalf. That's the title.
Catchy.
Tips right off the tongue.
I think we should now hear the jingle, don't you?
If you could ask any question you wanted to the Excel World Champion, what would you ask? Since you're not here, we'll ask on your behalf.
Is this an attempt to make up for the Irish music you played last time I was on work?
Once again, this time I asked for upbeat Irish folk music.
I've just got this vision of Win listening to this.
I mean, it's just like you leave your kids unsupervised for a while, and you go, it's like, oh, all right. I suppose I knew they were going to do that. I blame myself.
Tim, it's all about making you feel at home.
I mean, I will say you were considerably closer to the mark that time than last time.
What was the title? Can you just quickly roll the title off your tongue again, Mark?
I can read it, yes.
Yeah.
If you could ask any question you wanted to the Excel World Champion, what would you ask? But since you're not here, we'll ask the question on your behalf.
I've got a question, Dim.
Go on, Sue.
I'd love to know how you coped with the height and the pressure and being able to perform with that many people looking at you and the noise and everything. What did you do from a headspace to really focus and do it?
It's a good question. So a couple of parts to the answer. One, just by way of background, the first time we were in Vegas, 2023, they just had, like, I think 8 people up on stage, and there was nobody else kind of playing live in the arena, and so they had gone around, like, setting up whatever white noise playing on a YouTube video or something, and told everyone, like, you have to put these giant headphones on, listen to the white noise, blah blah blah. And then the second year, 2024, they had like a sort of, they added an extra qualifying round with like 64 people playing. So there was like 12 up on stage, but then 50 more people out on computers all over the arena. And so I guess it was just like too much work to do that, so they just didn't do that. And so it was, some people, brought along their own headphones or played music or whatever, and some people just didn't. I didn't, and same again this year. So, with all the yelling and the commentating and everything, like you can hear all of that. I've generally got a pretty strong audio filter. Like I was always that person in the office who could be put next to the annoyingly loud talker without being bothered by it in the way that other people were. So the noise didn't distract me directly very much, but like knowing that everybody is watching, definitely. So a year ago, I would have said knowing that everybody was watching is very stressful. Now my perspective is knowing that everybody's watching kind of amplifies in either direction. Like the 2024 final, when it was going badly and I knew everyone was watching, and I was like, oh, I'll try to fix this. No, that didn't work either. And I know that everybody saw me try that. Nah. Like it's easy to get into a sort of doom spiral. But this time round, the finals the first couple of years in Vegas were these like huge, incredibly complex tasks. 2024, we were given a 7-page instruction manual to read for a half an hour before going on stage. And it was just like a ton to hold in your working memory. And this year's final problem was difficult, but extremely simple. So like the instructions were like 1 paragraph of text and a few pictures. It was about like folding origami, like, folding a piece of paper made up of like digits. So you like the questions were all about like what digits are left on top after, you fold like this and fold like this, and what numbers can you still see. And it was just such a simple, clear idea that like by the time we were going out on stage, in the back of my mind, I was like, I never want to jinx it, but this, I feel like I can do this. And so it was kind of like I wasn't leading all the way through. It was the opposite. I was kind of low down for a good while, but like somewhat on purpose, because that was a tactic that I had chosen to follow. But it felt good the whole way through. And whenever you like put in a set of answers and you jump up the leaderboard, people start yelling and screaming, and it feels great. So yeah, there's when it's going well, the crowd does not bother me at all.
I love that phrase, doom spiraling.
Major doom spiral.
So
at what point, because in the quarters, semis and final, you completed the task before the time.
Yep.
So at what point in each of those rounds, battle, do you call them battles? Is that the phrase?
They call them battles. That seems weird to me, but I just think of them as rounds. But yeah, I just
in each round, at which point did you think I can complete this? Like what, because is it when you read through the questions, you're like, yeah, I've got this, or is it like halfway through, yeah, I can definitely complete this? Oh.
I mean, I would say for the semis and the final, I was reasonably sure after reading it that I could do it. But you never know, because the instructions are kind of a general description, but you don't see the actual questions until you get going. And so it's always possible that like the last level or the last couple of levels will add in some crazy twist that was not mentioned in the instructions that will be much harder or whatever. But insofar as I could, tell from the outside, it felt like this should be okay. For the quarterfinals, it was, let's say, considerably less obvious, partly because it was a Harry Gross case. Harry is like a genius, but also known for writing some fiendishly difficult cases. And so that one, like the instructions said, it's about like solving a jigsaw. And there was a thing about, for the first level, it was just you get, a number that corresponds to the top, bottom, left, and right side of each piece, and that matches, the opposite side on another piece, and there's only one way to match them, so you just have to, go through and put it together. And then it just said for the second one, there won't be unique numbers. So in other words, if there's, 1,743 on the right of this piece, there might be more than one piece that has 1,743 on the left of that. But it didn't say anything about what else you might need to do to figure out, there's only one way to solve the whole thing, but if you just look at like one connection, there's multiple different ways. And it didn't say anything about like, you can't just do it on one thing, but you could do it this way or whatever. So it being Harry, it could have been the case that you needed to do some, crazy difficult computer science algorithm or something to find the unique path. As it turned out, it was, if you just started in the top left corner and matched on the top and the left, you got most of it, and then there were a few ambiguous places, but not a lot of them. But yeah, that one I was like, there's no telling how hard this could be.
Yeah.
You got to try and get out there at some point, Sue and Mark. Like, it really is. I think, Dim, I'm assuming you would agree. Last year, as in last month, like Microsoft were there in a much bigger way. It just keeps feeling like, I wasn't there the first year, but it feels like it's scaling up and scaling up. And there was, again, I don't think this is a secret at all, there was like a 10-person documentary crew that was following, obviously they've got the most amazing story arc with Dim, like mic dropping, leaving the stage early in the early round, winning, which everybody was like, if anybody was asked, who do you want to win? For almost everybody, it was, I want Dim to win. Right. So this documentary, when it comes out, fingers crossed, will be pretty awesome.
I think so. I think it's going to be pretty
How did it feel doing the mic drop?
Giles and I had a conversation between the semis and the final where he was like, Dim, you need to actually do a mic drop. I'm going to get you a mic so that you can stand up and drop it.
How did I know and sense there would be a Giles male influence in this?
And I said, Giles, you've got to be kidding me. Like, because, I have a long record of peaking too soon in this competition. I do very well in the, in the out season, and then get to the knockouts and blow it. And so after the quarters and the semis going very well, I was extra aware, like if I like nail the quarter, nail the semi, and then blow the final, that will be very on brand for me. So when Giles was like, yeah, I'll get you a microphone, you can just have it there so that you're ready, when I was like, are you kidding me? I'm not going to attempt fate. And
I didn't want to jinx it, so I did not search for a microphone. But it was they were all mic drop moments. Dim wasn't actually allowed to leave the stage. at the end because he'd done it once.
House arrest. That was probably the right decision. It would have been too distracting for the people still up there. But yeah.
I still think for you to have just walked off and gone straight to the bar and been like, "I'll have a soda water, thanks." Just sat down. It would have been great.
The thing is, you say it would have been distracting, but throughout the, so if anyone who didn't see it, throughout the, I think the semi-final and the final, there were, I can't remember how many competitors there were, but every 5 minutes, the person in last place
was eliminated.
And they had to stand up and walk across to somebody who was then interviewing them. So the fact that somebody else is standing up and walking somewhere is no more distracting than anything else. I mean, the fact that I think you were sat next to Andrew Nye, weren't you?
Yeah,
and I think
Andrew
you then
and John
stopped and shook your hand to say congratulations, and it's like, hey, you've got to keep going, or else you might give up.
Well, you know, if you're Andrew, you've won it 3 times, and so if someone else has just won, do you feel that strongly about whether you finish 2nd, 3rd, 4th, or 5th? Probably not. It's like, if you're Andrew, it's like first or not first. And he's still first more often than everybody else put together. So
do you think he's going to come back with a vengeance next year? I mean, he's such a lovely guy, but do you think it's like, right, enough of you? Like?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think Michael will as well. Although, you know, I said this before the final last year, and I still think it now, which is, you know, there's been this sort of oligopoly of me and Michael and Andrew, and I don't think it's sustainable. I already thought it wasn't, you know, going into last year, and now even less so. Like with you know, Ha rocketing up. I don't know, Mark and Sue, if you've come across him, but like Ha Dang is the the UK champion and was, I think 5th in the finals in Vegas, having discovered this whole, you know, Excel esports thing in February, was it?
The Global Excel Summit.
Heard about it at the Global Excel Summit and was like, oh, I should check this out. And then, you know, 6 months later won the UK championships, and 2 months after that was 5th in the world. And like Jean Volley, the guy who won the DAC championship as well, he's been doing it a little longer than Ha, but like not massively longer. Yeah, I think the odds of it being, you know, one of Michael and Andrew and I again next year are as low as they've ever been.
Yeah, I agree. No, I mean, obviously Dim and Andrew and Michael are insanely good, but there's some really strong players coming through. I think it'll just add to the pot. It's not like Dim, Michael, and Andrew, I think, are going anywhere. It's just more people in that top bracket. You
got to run to stay still.
Yeah,
that's brilliant though, because you're encouraging people to participate and making it exciting. I mean, who'd have thought Excel and esports? It's brilliant. You wouldn't, would you? But it's fabulous.
I mean, the first time Andrew, the founder, told me about it, it's like, esport, really? But I guess he's been proven right. I mean, it's on ESPN, there's millions of viewers. It's big.
But it's like Minecraft. My sons used to watch Minecraft, and I could never understand why they watched it instead of played it. But it's fascinating when you're interested in something and you watch people and how they do it. And it's different. You think, I wouldn't have thought of that. It's, you know, I can see why it's so entertaining and competitive.
I have a question for Dim. I don't know how. I mean, Mark, you'll have to stop me at some point because I'll just keep talking about this. Otherwise,
at some point we will go on to question of the week. But we've got time. We've got time.
Has anything changed?
We're not on it yet.
No, this is the pre-question.
If you could ask any question you wanted to the Excel World Champion, what would you ask? But since you're not here, we'll ask questions on your behalf. I mean, it's a completely separate feature.
The real question is about breadth and depth of something or other that Mark. Has anything changed, Dim?
I mean, a brief flurry of media attention, but other than that, no, I don't think so.
New followers with
a lot of new followers. Yeah, I think I've got, I don't know, like more than a third more subscribers in the last month, 6 weeks than I did in the 4 years before that. I'd actually just hit 10,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel, like while we were in Vegas, like maybe the day before the final or something like that. And now I'm at, like, I don't know, coming up on 14,000. I'm like, what? Very strange, very strange.
And I've got a question. What do you think you did technically to? I mean, obviously you're hugely intelligent and highly experienced, but do you think there's anything specifically that you did to? I assume you just practiced as well, practiced and practiced and practiced. But anything strategically or technically you did to?
Technically, yes. I did a good bit of practice. I don't think I'm at the high end of the practicing, because it's funny, like, going a few years back, there was just a lot less kind of connection in the community. Like Klinsman, one of the guys who organizes the Brazil competition, started this like WhatsApp group with me and Lorenzo and Pachaya, I think, like, but a handful of us in the run up to the 2023 final that we called the like MEWC study group, so that we could kind of compare notes and like play together and whatever, and that gradually kind of grew and evolved and is now a group with like 400 people in it or something. But like before that, I mean, I just didn't do that much practice at all because without the kind of social engagement, it's not as interesting. So I did some, but not tons. But then, when there's lots of people talking about what they're doing, or like, hey, does anybody want to play this game? Or, maybe we'll all do one together on Tuesday night or whatever. It just makes it more fun and engaging and interesting to, to do it and talk about it and compare notes, and you learn faster that way as well, obviously, comparing with how other people did it. So yeah, I practice more now, but it's also made me aware that some people practice much more than I do. Like every now and again, they have this platform now where you can kind of all play the same case online and put your scores in and see a live leaderboard, and it's quite cool, quite fun. But yeah, every now and again it's like, all right, does anybody want to play another case? Sure. Okay, let's do this one. And then you'll hear a couple of people be like, oh yeah, it's been a couple of months since I did that one. Like, there are almost 200 cases on the platform. It's like, that's a couple of months since you did this one. It's like, oh yeah, I've maybe done this case 6-8 times in total. I'm like, wow, that's a lot.
Jean was, I think you know him, but I do a session with Jean Wally, who came third. I think it was third last year. And he was showing me his routine for practicing, like the notes he takes after trying every case. And then he'll watch a Dim video and a Bo video and a Hayden video. And he's just got pages of OneNote text. So yeah, some people do this in a really methodical way.
Yeah. But so the technical thing that's different, at least different between, I think, me and kind of Michael and Andrew as the kind of the other two past winners, is I do a lot more stuff like single cell, where typically the way to, like, all the questions are like the same question asked for 20 different inputs. And so the way most people handle that is they like build out a model and then do a data table to run it for the 20 different things. But if you are comfortable writing kind of one large let or one large lambda or whatever to do the whole thing, then you can just write it and copy it down. And I'm a lot more single cell inclined than at least most of the top end competitors. There are a good few other, like Jean, for example, is definitely, he might even be more single cell than I am. And he's obviously, just narrow, like edged out in the last like few seconds from coming second, ended up third. But yeah, he's very, very good. And I saw a few others who kind of seem to be doing it that style as well. But it's a bit of a sort of paradigm shift if you're used to Excel and you're used to kind of building out a model and you see all your interim steps go along. And there's a sort of style of debugging associated with that that is quite different if you're not used to that, and trying to debug steps along the way within a let statement or something like that. So that's a pretty different approach for me versus a lot of the others.
Yeah, so you can almost visualize each part of the let, what the output is, to then wrap around and get the next bit and the next bit and the next bit.
Yeah, exactly.
So are you a programmer before? Did you?
I mean, yes and no. I wouldn't compare myself to like a real programmer. Like, I know people who kind of work as developers. I am not that. But like I've written, Mathematica code and a bit of Java code and a good amount of VBA and a good amount of M code. So like I studied computer science. I feel comfortable with, designing and writing algorithms and with the ideas of programming. I don't do a ton of programming. But yeah, I'm like programming adjacent, a bit like you actually, with your ongoing denial that you're a programmer.
Hey, guess what I've been doing? I'm running a branching out podcast with Matthias Tierbach.
Hold on,
you wrote
got multiple podcasts as well. I thought I was the only one with a career.
So he's teaching me VS Code and Git. So I've been coding in VS Code and Git, which is. So yeah, but I know exactly what you mean, as in you don't count yourself as a professional developer, but you do understand how to break things down into small bits to be able to then build up and build up. But yeah, that's fascinating, Dim. Thank you.
Well, I think with that question, it brings us very nicely into question of the week. And by I say very nicely into the question of the week, there's almost no relationship whatsoever, but I've tried to create it seems like this would be fun. So let's start with a jingle, shall we?
It's the question, it's the question, it's the question of the week. It's the question, it's the question, it's the question of the week.
So the question of the week is, to be an expert, what is more important, depth of knowledge or breadth of knowledge?
So can I just say one small, totally unrelated thing first? I think I mentioned this last time I was on, but it is so strange for me to hear like the intro music and the question of the week jingle at regular speed, because I listen to Unpivot all the time, but I listen to most things at double speed. And so I think the times I've been on as a guest are the only times I've ever heard the jingle music at regular speed, and it's so strange.
But not just that, but also our voices.
It doesn't work the same with voices.
No.
Like I have a sense listening to someone's speeded up voice of what their normal voice sounds like, but with the music, it just sounds weird.
So you're not there thinking, Mark normally sounds like a chipmunk, but today it sounds like he's mildly drunk.
I love the irony as well that Dim listens to everything at twice the speed and we all listen to Dim's videos at half speed.
Yeah.
Right.
What's the question? Breadth.
What is more important, depth of knowledge or breadth of knowledge? And obviously, it's not as simple as, it's not, you can't just, Dim just can't say depth and Sue says breadth. Right? I was like, hopefully there's some discussion here about it's not all one or the other, but then how much of one or the other do you need? And, we haven't used the AI phrase yet. Does that impact things about how much depth or breadth we might need?
I don't feel like we need to. I mean, you've just answered the question. Should we just stop there?
I've not. I've really thrown out the hypothesis.
So I'll give an answer, which is, I think So like I am, I'm still like a little leery of the idea of describing myself as an Excel expert, because Excel is so vast and there are whole areas of it that I never touch. But part of the thing for me is I do think it's more about depth. But like you were saying, how much, I think the thing for me is, in an Excel context, obviously expertise in general is a different question, but in an Excel context, I think enough breadth to have a sense of what other things there are and when they might be helpful, even if you don't know about it. So like context of from my career is I was doing all this like data reporting stuff that started from a couple of files and just some basic summaries and spitting out PDFs and sending them to people, and then kind of gradually grew over the years with like more and more data and more things to bring in. And at some point it was starting to kind of strain with my like import macros to drop the data here and there, and like formulas to summarize everything and blah blah blah. And like I was just enough aware that there was this thing called Power Query and that it could do this kind of import and transformation, that when I was starting to need it, I could say, okay, let's learn how to do some of this stuff in Power Query. And by the time I did that reporting for like 10 years or so, and by the time I left, it was like the engine was entirely Power Query. It makes me so sad that I can't like share this file with the world, because it is, even though I'm kind of more known for the like formula side of things, I think it's the best work I ever did. Like it was this monster, I think it had like 75 different queries in it, pulling from like 30 different files, various different kind of databases and things. It was amazing. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But the point being, like, I was enough aware of what was out there that it was like, okay, there is a way to do this, and the way is to go in the direction of Power Query. And like similarly, I was always working with people who wanted like PDFs or printouts. But if someone had said, oh, we need this to be like online and interactable and blah blah blah, I've never used Power BI, but I am enough aware of the environment that I could have said, okay, this sounds like I could take a lot of these workings, put them in Power BI, and get you that. Let's go and explore that. So I think enough breadth to be aware, broadly speaking, of what's out there and what it might help you with is quite valuable.
I wonder if it comes down to seniority or your role to some extent as well. For example, if you were an analyst or a programmer of some sort, or Excel's the perfect example, really, to your point, Dim, to understand the various ways you could go about doing something, but you're probably more specialized in one area with depth would make sense, or a few. But I can imagine a very good C-suite level person of some sort might actually just be more breadth. Maybe they're not a deep expert in any of the various ways you could do something in Excel or the Office suite, but they've got that breadth across all of them to go, I think this is probably the right solution. And then they've just got people that do all the depth for them.
I've got in my head a mushroom. So like a mushroom that covers, so that's your knowledge of the area that you're in, which and it can get thinner as it goes out, and then your technical knowledge is the stalk. That's the bit you're really good at, but you have to know when, exactly as you said, when Power Query is the right tool, or if Power Query is starting to struggle a little with something, then there are these other tools. Or if I want, if my customer wants me to look at different conceptually, or doesn't have licenses, it's having that open mind to not just be stuck in, this is what I know, this is what I'm good at, this is what the solution is going to take this. It's thinking, well, I know this is good at it, but is it the right thing? And what else is out there so you can go and explore?
And do you think talking about AI, do you think in terms of that mushroom analogy,
Mm.
do you think the AI makes the mushroom wider, or do you think it gives you more pillars or stalks on your mushroom in terms of, if you are a broad person, I've got a broad, someone's got a broad knowledge about lots of things, and they go, I think this is the right tool. Could you AI to then get the depth? Or is it more the case that actually AI might give you more breadth, but you still need, it's more personal knowledge that gives you the depth?
I think it could do both. I think so. I'll answer it quickly in two ways. I think AI now probably can't give you the full depth, but I think it will eventually. I can imagine a world where all of us are doing incredible vibe projects and the AI is doing all the depth. I just don't think it's there yet, especially not in modeling world. But I also think AI now can do a lot of the thinking, the breadth thinking, the strategic stuff quite well. I use Claude a lot for that, the strategic. Here's the thing I'm trying to do. You are in the headspace of a ex-manager, strategist. Give me all the ideas. So maybe both.
I quite often will chat with it and say, I'm thinking about doing this, and this. Can you, and perhaps this tool, what other options are there? And so that it can come back with the other options. But I think you need to have enough technical knowledge to be able to question it and argue with it and say, well, have you thought about this really? Because, and it is about conceptually giving it the context that you're working in, making sure it understands nuances. And so it's very much iterative. That I find it quite useful, particularly with working on your own, because you can have that back and forth, almost like a brainstorming type thing to consider different options. So, and for the depth, again, it's that concept. I want to do this. I've got to this point. What, it's asking the right questions and having enough knowledge to be able to bat it back.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a sort of the risk of trying to be this deep and have it take you way down the mine shaft is just that you don't know what you don't know. And it's very good, but if you don't have the context, it's very hard to tell when it has gone totally off the rails, and it does still go totally off the rails sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. I always say it's like a toddler or a dog. It's like, let me help you, let me help you, let me help you. What about this? What about this? What about this? And you're like, no, come back. Let's just get this bit right first before we go and take over the world. One step at a time.
I've definitely had it where you ask it a question that tells you this is the best path to take, and then you push it on that question. I think, and because it almost takes a holistic view. Here's the right path to take. But when you push it on that answer, it then actually, because it hasn't got the depth of that thing, it's like it genuinely knows that this is an acceptable path, but then it doesn't actually know how to then get to the next stage of each of those things. So you can almost like you can trust. I almost feel like you can trust it for one or the other. Like you can be like, hey, it's got an understanding of a breadth of things, but at least I know what my specialism is. And I just need to know where else I might need to reach out. Or you've got a breadth of things, and it can help you go deep on the thing that is the right thing. But I think it tends to. I find the AI struggles when it says, here's my scenario. What do you think I should do? You should do this. And when you start pushing it, it then goes, I'm not so sure you can do it like that. I'm not sure about this. And I've had scenarios where it says that something is really complex and difficult. I said, I want to do this. That's really complex and difficult. And they go, well, how about if I do it that way? Yes, that way is really easy. And
it's trying to show off. It's like, let me show you. You can do this. No, I don't want it like that. I want it simple.
So I think there's a challenge in using it for both, because you must need knowledge of one or the other to have the scope to give it the direction to know whether it's the right thing.
This is what I'm learning more and more already this year, is which is not groundbreaking news, but obviously what you prompt has a huge impact on what you get out. But a lot of that context that I was saying earlier, like, you are my analytical financial modeling support guru. You will be thinking like this. You are very interested in best practice. All of that context that you layer on, and in Claude, like, it's really nice. You've got like custom instructions. I think it's the same with ChatGPT. So you can have generic or overarching custom instructions where you can add that extra context. So your GPT is always thinking in that way. So yeah, this is the journey I'm going on. What you tell it has an impact on what you get back. There you go. There's a nugget of gold for you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Giles. That is the.
I'm here all week. MVP.
I mean, if you can make a statement like that, I think it's time to put, AI expert in your LinkedIn headline.
Yeah. Copilot guru.
I must admit, I did create an agent to help me with writing technical documents.
Did you? In what? What did you choose?
Oh, this go back in Chat GPT when the agent thing first came out, and what I found was that apparently I am the most boring writer in the world, because I would ask him something and what he'd give me back, I was like, this is terrible. This is not engaging in the slightest. Why would anybody ever read this?
That's what ChatGPT said back to you.
No, that's not what it said to me. That's what I thought. Okay. That's what it gave back to me based on me training it on stuff that I've written. I mean, I realise it's just reflecting me back to me. What? Well, who's going to read this? Gosh, garbage like that. It's just giving me back to me, and I feel sorry for everyone.
I mean, the good news is that there's probably not much fear of people actually reading your technical documents in the future. They'll probably just give it to an AI and be like, answer this question for me.
Yeah. Mine would be like smiley faces.
There is that meme of somebody going into their AI and saying, I've got these 3 bullet points. Can you write out a full document for me?
Yeah, I can't just send this to my boss. It's not enough.
There's so much information here. Can you send the AI? Can you summarize this down to 3 bullet points?
I don't think I've seen that. I need to see this.
I
don't think so.
There's a guy, an MVP called Randy Austin. He does like Excel for freelancers or something like that. But he's like very, very deep on the whole AI thing. And I know, at least for a while, like whenever he put out a new product, like a new template or something like that, he would have a custom GPT specifically for his clients to ask questions about the template, like, because he would have a whole bunch of instructions and a video and whatever that would say, like, if you want to add a new client, here's where you go to insert a row, and here's where you update this thing and that thing and whatever. But he just had every template. He would just give all the documentation to a custom GPT and be like, you can go and ask your questions here, which feels, on the one hand slightly infantilizing, but on the other hand, it's definitely the future.
You do find, don't you? You do all the documentation, you do the training videos, you show them face to face, and then you'll get an email back. How do I do this, this, and this? And you just
and that's what drives me slightly nuts about the focus that's been in our financial modeling space on AI is going to build you models. I'm going to talk about this tomorrow in Bristol at the meetup. It's like there's all these other areas where it can already do some amazing, like the document analysis and summarization. Dim, I was thinking, all the model maps you've probably drawn on a whiteboard before, all the boxes with arrows. I'm sure you could now just take a picture of that on your phone, wing it to Claude and go, just summarize that for me. And it'll probably do a brilliant job. But everybody's so focused on like, I'm going to click a button, get a coffee. And
it's really interesting. I saw Hilary Smart, who's a former model off champion, works at Operas. She started posting on LinkedIn recently, just like thoughts about life and project finance. Very good, very worth a follow. But she mentioned something recently, which was, that not necessarily in like the scale of projects that she works on, but like in many contexts, when a lender or whoever asks for a financial model, in practice what they're really asking is, have you thought through the assumptions in enough detail to produce a financial model. And like, it wasn't that people were particularly interested in the model itself versus the kind of the discipline of the process that you had to go through to be ready to make a model. And that like one of her concerns about, you know, like, even if we get to the place where you can hit the magic button and it produces the whole model and it all looks plausible and sensible, is that will obviate the need in many people's heads to go through that discipline and that process of like, is this a sensible assumption? Is this, you know, is this plausible? Is this going to hold up through the cycle? Whatever. And so that thing of being able to say, well, okay, it passes the sense check. It feels like they've put some real work into thinking this through. That signal will just not be there because it won't take that effort to produce a thoughtful financial model. It'll only take, give me a financial model, which is not a good thing, perhaps.
I think so. Yeah, because the irony about this documentation piece is that as society has got to the point more and more where we just can't be bothered to read things. We want things served up in 30-second videos. And ironically, at the point that the technology can be like, hey, I can write a full document for you there. I can help you with that. Everyone else is going, I don't want to read a document. I can't be bothered to read this document. Like, I don't know if even like you prompt something, and even then you skim read over the answer and be like, well, that's not what I want. I don't even bother to read it.
Sounds like you need to update your overall instructions. Say less. 3 bullet points, please.
The future of project finance for the building of a bridge will just be there's one AI tool at one end going, I kind of want this, and another one at the other end going, oh, the model probably looks a bit like this. Let's go. Let's do it. Build.
So with that in mind, before we wrap up, are there any final thoughts from anyone?
Oh, look, C's trying to get us on an hour now.
Is this going to be 5% shorter than the median win episode?
Yeah, you can't stop us like this, Mark.
Okay, final thoughts.
Are you coming to the Excel Summit, Dim?
I am.
Are we going for a run?
Oh God!
As long as we're not going too fast, sure.
Yeah, cool.
Are we going to ABBA?
Are we going to ABBA? Do you fancy ABBA, Dim?
ABBA Voyage.
I'm not sure about that. I'm not a big ABBA fan.
Oh God! Why did we invite Dim on?
I didn't know this. I thought we decided there was
crucial information
that we needed to do.
Good Lord! Are you going to Amsterdam? Are you doing the European?
Oh, of course! Fabulous. I wouldn't miss it.
Yeah,
wouldn't miss it.
So do you get to qualify? Like for the Irish, not the Irish, for the European one, do you qualify as like? Is it for only people who live in Europe? So therefore, you've got your passport.
Not for only people. It's the European Open. It's just I think they're kind of branching out because it's the finals. The live finals have been in Vegas all the last 3 years and will be again next year. And I think there was a certain amount of desire for other options.
Okay, I'm with it.
So I'll be facing off against Dib and 98 other people.
Yeah, Jean and Ha, and I think Michael might be there. Andrew, I think, said he might not make it. But other than that, it's not going to be significantly lighter competition than global finals.
Yeah. How's your training going, Giles?
It will start soon properly. I worked on a couple of lambdas the other day, which I was quite happy with. Bit of refinement. I've got 110 still. It feels like too many. It's way too many.
I'm about up there now. I've had a small collection for a long time, but I don't anymore.
Half of mine are still called. The problem is now I'm inconsistent. So half of them have got humble as the first word, because I thought that was funny a year ago, and now it's not. It's just inconvenient.
Type it in, humble.
Well, no, that it's a story. We could do a whole episode on my lambda collection if you want. Wonderful.
Do you not have to be like really quick with the naming of it, so it's easy to find it?
That's what world champions do.
Yeah. Also, can the two of you see the increasing anxiety in Mark's eyes as we creep towards 105?
Yeah, I know.
On the clock.
Yeah. That's why I'm doing it.
This wouldn't be happening if Win was here.
And then Win would be telling us he's got his dinner and having his glass of wine ready. Got my dinner.
Right. Well, since you're going to I'm going to wrap this thing up. I'm the only one with the end record button, so I'm in full control. So thank you, Dim, for being with us. Thank you, Sue and Giles, as always. And yes, thank you for listening. And as Wim would say, go onto your podcast app of choice and leave us 5 stars and a shining review. Until next time, when Win will be back for a much higher quality leading of a podcast. The pilot shall be back, and everything will be smooth once again. So thank you all very much, and we'll see you next time.
God, you fumbled the end as well a bit, didn't you? Waffly.
Bye.